Hi everybody, it's Lynne Forsythe here with the Die Namites Die's premiere blog hop. Say that 5 times. And what I wanted to show you is how I created the background with the knobby branch die and the budding branch die. Now, too many times when we look at our dies, we look at them as a whole, but I want you from now on to look at them as the parts that they can be to create a whole. As you will see here, here is the knobby branch all cut out, but if I was to stick this on my canvas, it's way too big. But if we just cut that apart and build upon each other, then suddenly you have this beautiful element on your canvas. So let me show you how I did this. So as many of you know, I love to work with textures in different papers, and Canvas Corp has this amazing line of papers that you can use. I love using fabrics, but sadly sometimes the dies have a very hard time cutting through fabric. But I did come across this linen paper that Canvas Corp makes, which is actually paper, but it has fabric on it, and it cuts wonderfully. Now I do find that sometimes when I'm using this, that what I will have to do is I will have to shim my dies. Now if you're not familiar with this, what I have is these mylar pieces that Sizzix puts out. I actually bought a big one and cut it down into smaller pieces so that I could have these shims to put through here. So basically I lay my mats down and I put my die with the linen paper face up, put my top plate on, and then I just put the shims over top of that, and it's just going to add added pressure to the dies so that they can cut through the threads of the linen paper. And as you will see, it pops out the other side and it's all cut nice and clean. I also use that when I am working with thicker papers like the flute, or Canvas Corp also has this handmade chipboard which is really, really thick, and it almost pushes the envelope on what these dies are able to cut, but I have a tendency to like to do that anyways. So, and this is all I have left of this paper. So we're going to lay this on here so that we can get the most of it. And once again, with our die up, we'll place our plates over top and our shims so that we can get the maximum pressure in our die cut machine. And it really would work easier if I was not on top of my craft mat. But for the sake of videotaping, and I'm going to actually give that a couple runs through. And you will see that it cut through that very, very thick paper and left me with this beautiful die. So here we have the die cut pieces, the knobby branch out of the linen paper and the budding branch out of the handmade chipboard paper, all of these by Canvas Corp. And as you can see, once again, this is gorgeous, but if I was to try to stick this on here, it would kind of take over my entire piece. So once again, I want you to look past what the die is as a whole and what it can be as pieces parts. Okay, so what I did was, once I have these cut, I have 4 different colors of twinkling H2Os. I've already hydrated them with a little bit of water. And I'm just going to pick one of the lighter colors to paint down first. And depending on how much water you have in the twink determines the saturation of the color that you're going to get on your paper. See, and I already love this effect. See how the paper is curling as I add this paint to it? Oh, love it. All right, so now I want to add a little bit of detail and definition. So I'm just going to using my thin brush, just going to go along the edges here with some darker of the twinkling H2Os to create a little bit of a shadow. We'll set that aside to dry. And we just repeat this process, and I don't always do it the same. Like this one I want to be a little darker. And we do want to paint the back sides of these because when they curl, we don't want to see the white paper. Okay, so here we have our 3 painted knobby branch die cuts. And I'm just going to hit those with a little bit of heat so that they'll totally dry. So when I painted the budding branch, basically I used a little bit of the gold Precious Metal Effects paint, spritzed it with a little bit of water because I was really wanting to create a wash, and I just painted over the entire die cut on the, which was cut from the handmade chipboard paper, which is just fabulous. So we're just going to cover up all the white with the gold. We'll dry that with the heat tool. And using some of the Mother of Pearl's Precious Metal Effects paint, I just went and dabbed on the ends of the budding branch, just the little tips, the little buds that were on there, and just made them white. So to give you an example of what I've been talking about, here's a canvas, and this is actually a 3x3 canvas. But if I was to stick these die cuts on top of here, it's huge and it's overpowering, and it really doesn't look that good. But if we were to take these and cut them up into smaller pieces that are now more manageable, we now have something beautiful to work with. So I just want to encourage you that yes, using the whole die is a beautiful thing, because if you look at this, this is absolutely gorgeous. But don't be afraid to get in here and cut them apart and use the parts, because they can be just as beautiful as the whole. And if we stick this in here, and we put this flower on here, now we have taken the big pieces and made them manageable on a smaller surface. So, the little nugget for today is sometimes the pieces can be just as amazing as the whole. And there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial today using the dynamite dies, and enjoy our premiere blog hop. Have a super fabby creative day.